Sorry for the people on YouTube. I realized my mic was muted. But yeah, with Bitcoin, after this, over here we are starting to consider a bullish narrative because you can't really say anything was locked in gold because we didn't have a second break of structure. But we did have our change of character. There were some longs to be had, but whether you played this level or this level, there are definitely longs to be had. We actually had limits on one over here. That shit made me so sick, dude. I think it was like, was it this one? Yeah, it was this one. We were like $1 off or 20 cents off. It wasn't $1. It was like 20 cents off. Maybe I still have the position. That was something from earlier. I'll leave that up because I want to go over that too. Yeah, anyways, you guys in PlayBit know, but where we're at now, it's really hard for me to just say, oh, we're just going to keep dumping. I'm not saying I don't think it's going to happen. I see that as a huge possibility. We came out and we cleared. I mean, you name it, this low, this low, this low, anything we cleared. 27,800 was the lowest. This is really the last major low I see until 22,000. I mean, I don't consider this wick anything. When I'm looking this far back, I'm looking on the daily. We can find demand zones and stuff, but and we'll see reaction to them. But when I'm looking at it at this point, when I'm looking for my bias to shift to where I want to say, yeah, like I think it's a good idea to buy equity, or everybody just wants to buy the dip, and there's a right and wrong way of doing that. I don't think that. I mean, you may disagree with me. If you whatever, that's cool. But I'm not even thinking about buying equity now. I would need a 4-hour structural shift before I'd even consider that. These lows are not protected lows anymore. There's not mitigation happening here, so you can't really say that. You can't expect, oh, we're just coming down to this and that. I mean, there is the argument that capitulation has begun, and we're starting to come sweep under these old lows. I get it. And if anything, I'm going to look for a reversal. So that's why I'm saying I'm not perma bear, just short of 22K. But I do want to make it clear that I don't necessarily see any signs of a reversal yet, just for the sole fact we haven't had time. Because now this range is toast. This is done. All that to me means nothing. I mean, there's levels in there that mean something, like highs and liquidity, but this is not the reversal point. It might be the start of an accumulation, and this could be, a the actual selling climax. I don't know, but what I'm going to need is price action closer to something over like this right here. Coming on, like, it's going to take time. That's why I tell people, like, I've had so many people that I know, whether it's through Discord or Twitter, or if it's people that I've known in real life for years, have hit me up asking me, is this the time to buy? Is this the bottom? Da da da. I don't think that it's going to be like, oh, we hit the bottom and then it turned around and just never look back. I don't think that's what this is going to be. So don't rush into anything. Bide your time. Be smart. Be logical, right? Because there's no logic right now in 90% of market participants that aren't institutional. So, keep that in mind. I just wanted to start off with that. Now, what I will say is we are extremely, beaten down. The thing that I'm looking at is I've been trying not to really use volume when I'm day trading, but when I'm looking at the macros, we can go the weekly for this actually. I'm looking at macros and on perp, so let me go on Tether, to be more accurate. We had a huge shift in volume, right? Because if the market really is beginning to capitulate, we're going to see a massive influx of volume, like this. You notice how the volume was much, much higher. Big players were getting involved on this wick, That's where big money was accumulating orders, down here. The levels are below now, and you see the volume was excessively higher than where we're at now. So that being said, it is starting to raise, but it's not necessarily really where I'd like it to feel better about where we're at now. Looking at the monthly chart is scary because you have massive price inefficiencies that we're very close to. Like if I was looking at this chart and this were on like a 1 hour and I saw this price structure, I would just be like, yeah, I'm not touching this till it was in here. No bullshit. Now, does that mean I'm going to look at a monthly chart the same? No, but just to give you a perspective on how much liquidity is trapped in this area. So now that we've cleared all these lows, I don't think I'm going to want to open a ton of new shorts here or anything like that. Like we'll hold the ones we had earlier today. That's cool. I think price could at least return to like a premium of this little price like we've had here. Unless we make another low, then move the fib. But I think that it'll be like a slow bleed compared to what it's been the last couple days. I could be wrong, but nonetheless, we'll find opportunities to trade this. But as far as this is not an equity market. This is not where you buy and hold for days to weeks. It's just not that. This is where you get in, you get your money, and you get the fuck out. And if you can't do that, then you shouldn't be participating in this kind of shit. That's the way I'm looking at it right now. So here, I expect us to consolidate really into the London session. Whatever highs and lows we make, where is this 7 p.m. You can change this as it goes, but I'd still look for this swing. Really, when you want to look at the Tokyo session's highs and lows, you can expect for one of those to be manipulated come 2 a.m. or leading up to 2 a.m. Eastern time. And then we'll kind of get an idea of where market makers are wanting to push price based off of what's getting manipulated. If anything, I would be more biased to look for longs here. But I also was more biased to look for longs over here because we're under old lows. Now, we have cleared a ton of shit. Because here's the thing. If we don't reverse here, and I'm looking at a daily chart, I'm looking for 21,920.
Yeah, I was looking at 20.
Yeah, literally. If we don't start to see, liquidity being swept as to form a pool, like maybe consolidate, and I don't know if it's going to be for a couple days, couple weeks, whatever. I doubt it'll be a couple weeks at this point. Everything's so volatile, but I would be more long biased here until we start to just continuously break down. And now it's crazy is when you look at this chart, $22,000 Bitcoin sounded fucking insane a week ago. Bitcoin was $40,000 1 week ago. So, nothing is impossible. And when you look at this, these levels don't look all that far away. So just be aware of that and be mindful that that is a possibility. And I wouldn't be just full porting equity because a lot of people that I talk to in crypto, they just fail to either accept or realize that this shit is great and blockchain tech will innovate the world. I believe that, but that shit don't matter if the fucking economy's crashing. It's just like it's just doesn't right now. You know what I mean? So, but looking at Bitcoin, I think that it's really taken a beating. One thing I want to go into is Ethereum, and Ethereum's just now really under this year's lows. We have equal lows all the way down here at $1,700. And if we follow suit with Bitcoin, if you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin's cleared everything. I mean, relative to market structure, if Ethereum had, cleared all the lows since 2020, I mean, you don't even want to think about that. We're talking about $1,000 Ethereum, but I would really consider this huge low, the last crash, $1,400. I think this is on perps. I think it's actually different on something else. I don't want to say the wrong level. Yeah, that's actually even worse now that I look at this. I wouldn't really consider those equal, actually. I thought it looked more equal. But all of these, I would. All this down here, that's a ton of liquidity. That's down at that 1700 level. So main things I'm going to be on watch for is a structural shift on Bitcoin to a bullish high time frame narrative, and then I'll feel comfortable to look for longs to possibly hold overnight. And if I don't get that, I'm going to be looking for Ethereum shorts, because Ethereum has not came down nearly as hard relative to its structure as Bitcoin has. Somebody's mic is loud. But yeah, so sorry, Geenie, I had to mute you. If you want me to unmute you, just at me.
I was about to say, who's in the spaceship?
I don't think he realized his mic was on. But what was? Oh yeah. So I was gonna go over a couple of the trades we took. I'll go over Jasmine first because the rest of them are all on Bitcoin. So Jasmine, hold on, let's go to. God damn, this shit fucking died today. I mean, I'm sure all the shit coins like this, like I don't even know what this coin does, but I'm sure all of these type coins are fucking like brutalized. I haven't even looked. Like all I've been looking at whenever the market gets volatile is this, and I had Luna on here, which is the funny thing. But the majors, kind of like the top 10 coins, and I removed like Doge because I don't want to trade that shit. But whenever everything gets super volatile, I just play these because, and really mainly Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that's all you really need if you can, you know, just pay attention, be patient with your trades. And even if you take some losses, as you guys have seen, you can easily make money, you know, and then some on a good trade. So, and I'm going to get more into those Bitcoins trades later. But here on Jasmine, I think let's go to the KuCoin chart. Wait, I just typed in KuCoin. Jesus, long day. So I remember last stream was that literally fucking Monday? Like I remember we were both on here. We were like, yeah, that shit looks like a buy. It was on Monday because it was in here, and it did. Like if it held there, we were like, oh yeah, that looks like a buy. Because somebody asked us to do TA on it, and I was like, yeah, but that demand definitely failed. And this is a good example of, we had our break of structure here, or change of character. We shifted to a new high. And this was really choppy structure. But, once we came back down into this zone, it was this demand zone. We had came up and I can't remember. Why is this? Hold on. 5 minutes going to look weird on this. I don't think this is even the same spot it was in. For some reason, I think it was like over here was when we entered. Somewhere in this area. We came onto this level. We had this nice setup that I've been playing on like the lower time frames on Bitcoin. We came down and had this fair value gap here that got filled on top of this change of character or this demand. Seems like the change of character was failed, so it probably wasn't valid. But we came back down, filled this order block. We seemed bullish in my opinion, but at the end of the day, it seemed like we were just coming up to mitigate, and then the rest of the market kind of just pulled Jasmine down with it. I think it was just too early of an execution. Probably should have waited for more confirmation since it was a shit coin, and it's the market is tanking. So I was looking back on it, I can see how it would have been avoided if just waiting for more confirmation on the higher time frames. And that's the same thing with any longs right now. That's the lesson I'm taking from this. Is basically like, yeah, great, you're on demand, cool, you're under an old low, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter until the entire market shifts on a high time frame. So, Jasmine got stopped out pretty quickly. I think because oh yeah, Algo, I remember you were talking about a 3 drop because I see. Was it right? Where was it?
Yeah, it's right there.
Which one was it though? Was it this?
Yeah,
it did look just like it, but I don't know. I thought the 3 drives are like it's like a fucking a 618. of the
Oh well, those I don't play it as. So when I've gone back and back tested, anytime I see new highs created like that, like a higher high, higher high, higher high, it's a 3 drive to me. Like and I would say like 75-80% they play to the downside.
I'm gonna look
And
into
if you
them because I've
you'll
never.
go part of the upside. It's kind of like saying that that's the creek,
Right. Like,
because
yeah, no, I
it's
get it.
going. So then the same thing happens when it's like going down.
Yeah. It's
But
like
it has to be in like,
reaccumulation, but
yeah, it
redistribution,
has to
really.
be in like really close like that. That's how
Yeah.
I like to play it. Because it kind of reminds me of a drop-based drop pattern.
That's more what I
How it
was thinking of. That honestly, and I was
comes
just.
up. Cool. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That shit fucking died, bro. Honestly, I just almost want to look. I wish there was a thing on TradingView where because I went when I sat down on my computer a minute ago, I went to make the change, like the biggest losers, but the day's already started again, and I was like, I bet some of the. Or let me go to my spot list. I bet some of these coins are fucking brutalized because I have a bunch of just like random fucking like let's see where CHR is. Holy fuck, bro! Everything literally just jumped off a fucking cliff. A lot of these alts
Yeah.
are gonna tank even worse. That's what I'm like. That's the weird thing with me is like, especially the ETH thing. Like, when we look at ETH compared to Bitcoin, like, dude, ETH could come down so much harder. Wait, wrong list. Like that, we haven't even cleared any of this. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to I got off topic. I want to go over this Bitcoin limit that we had that didn't hit. That would have been a fucking snipe, but I was literally in a bad mood. My girl was like, "What's wrong? Like, is everything okay?" I was like that irritated. I think it was 30,000, like 612, I think is where we played it. Was it right here? Yeah, this is where it was. So, let's go back because I unmarked it all. I know that was like a change of character, so it's too slow. Was it right here? I guess it was that late. Let me go back in MPix and I can find how I charted. I shouldn't even delete it. I just get sick of shit being on my screen. I didn't even want to look at that shit anymore after those limits missed. I know they missed by 20 cents, dude. I was so sick. It would have been like fucking literally like I think that the trade setup was like I can't remember the risk reward, but it was high. High enough for me to be irritated. What time was that at? 10:35 on the. Oh, that would help. I'm looking on the wrong fucking day. Yeah, this is where it was. So, this is how I found that setup. We had this change of character, and it wasn't confirmed. Like, I've seen a lot of confusion on change of character, because change of character and a flip are two different things. But I see it being taught that change of character is not confirmed till you have the high or low, which I get that logic. That's the same logic as a flip. It's just said differently because you're just looking for a break of the supply that sent you back down to demand that sponsored the change of character. So
Yeah, for change of character, I look at the immediate minor high and minor low, which is inside the internal structure of the price action. It's literally supposed to be like if you have two green candles to the upside, that's one move. So the high and the low of that move, that's where your change of character occurs. Anything under that is a break of structure. If you're going for the low that took out the high, that broke structure and made a new internal high or strong high, whatever you.
yeah, that's like the thing with price being fractal is like there's tons of breaks of structure on different time frames, even within this 15-minute chart. There's or not break structure. I'm sorry, changes of character. What is this a low time frame change of character on ape? See, personally, what is this? No,
And I
I
I
wouldn't
only use
consider
them
that.
in by the POI. Like if
Oh
we're
yeah,
looking for
you have
a
to.
supply and split, I'll look for it after it's battling in the supply, or coming out of it, or
Hmm.
you know.
Can
Yeah,
you tell me why it's not a change of character?
let me pull it up. Just eyeballing it doesn't look like it broke. See, like for me personally, because I know it looks like it's probably going to though. I'll tell you, liquidity is being engineered on the buy side. So which means that basically composite man or whatever you want to call it is engineering liquidity so it has exit liquidity and also liquidity to enter new longs once price reaches this level. Because even there's two kinds of orders here. There's people that are going to buy breakouts, but more so there's buy stops for shorts. So you'll probably retrace some, but I mean could get cleared.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking we might retrace to the PlayBit EMA and test those levels again just to see if buyers are still strong.
You've also got this though. So in all
Those
honesty,
are those.
you've got liquidity
You think
resting
you
on
could
both
rate
sides.
that?
Yeah, I think what's going to happen here is whatever gets rated first. So, for instance, I mean, I haven't traded ape, but if this were Bitcoin, and say we had this like we had heavy displacement, because this looks like the beginning of displacement. I mean, it could be more animated, but if we had like some huge candles down, bam, we come under here. This is where you buy, and you target that high, because everyone's scared to buy down here. But and vice versa. If you I don't know, come down, maybe make even a third equal low, and then really quickly and impulsively move away from that, come up here, this is where you sell and you target that low. So whichever way it's going to go, it, like I said, ape's a little different. I mean, I'm sure price action is price action. Shit trades the same, but and also news a lot of times corresponds with price action. For instance, we just had that trailer come out on the other side, and look at this: we pump up, make equal highs. Coincidence? Probably not. Maybe, I don't know, but something's gonna get cleared, and whichever one gets cleared first. Don't just when I say this is where you buy, I don't mean you just buy. Like that's where you watch for like a change of character. Maybe watch for a fair value gap setup. Like price to dip under here, impulsive break a structure to the upside, and then you don't even necessarily always play, because a lot of people mix up demand with order blocks. Because yes, order blocks are an area of demand for sure, they are, but not every demand
So
candle
how
is
do
an
we not
order
mix
block.
them up?
You have to kind of understand. So, for instance, going like because don't get me wrong, I don't mean to confuse you. Demand is demand, and order block, can be viewed as demand. But for instance, let's go like over here earlier today. Let's know 1 minute, make it clearer. So once the market is offering a different kind of liquidity than it was, and it's hard to trying to explain this without saying it the wrong way. Once the market is now offering buy side liquidity, like we're going up for these areas, and you can clearly see the price is reversed, and you see that block and that is broken in the market, you're going to have orders down here to be mitigated. So yes, really all of this is an order block. This is why people who don't understand that set limits right here and never got filled, because supply and demand works, but whenever you find a true order block, and here's an example of how this setup happened. Just like I was telling you on ape, we had liquidity engineered on both sides, not really in the form of equal highs or equal lows as much, but we always have a range. You have your major low and your major high. We see, like I said, price move very impulsively. This is animated. This is displacement. Price moves under this low. Liquidity was absorbed very quickly, and price catapulted to where? Only to do the same thing in the low time frames. Price came up, cleared out this liquidity, died. And that's like, for instance, when we took these first shorts, they got stopped. And this is why if you're going to be day trading, you have to understand that, and it's really easy to get psyched out. For instance, like this morning, I'm like, this stop hit, and I was like, ah, fuck, I'm just going to give it a second. And then I was watching, and I was like, you know it's about to happen, so don't just, you have to follow your bias and make sure that you're convicted in whatever it is that you're doing. And just hold on, somebody's
20-second short way. Will you mute up, Tim?
I'm in the circle, boys.
What's up? But
What were you saying, Casper? Sorry.
But this fuck, what was I saying? No, it was about oh yeah. Once you're when you're executing a trade, especially like intraday stuff, like whenever you're looking at, okay, well, I think this, the buy side liquidity has been removed from the market. The high of this morning before this dump's been taken out, which right here we are in supply. This is why I almost like just playing liquidity over supply and demand with Bitcoin. Because for instance, we came, I think it was a 15-minute order block. We'll rewind just for the sake of this. So we came into this 15-minute order block right here, or supplies, and whichever one you want to draw. If you're drawing supply and demand, you're probably using this. You're using one of these candles or this candle. I don't care what it was. It got hit, and then what you had? Because if you're in the 15-minute, I think it's redundant to try to use a 5-minute change of character. You just, it's not gonna happen. If you're in an hourly supply then or demand, yeah. But if you're on a 15-minute and you're playing those kind of order blocks, then, or supply and demand, whichever one, you're gonna be looking for a 1-minute change of character. And let's go back. So this is a good example of a liquidity raid. So yeah, we came onto this low, but barely. And a lot of times on the 1-minute, you'll have that happen. Like I've seen plays just wick barely, and it definitely played out like a change of character. We came up into the supply that pushed us to this, what I thought was a break to the downside. It just was a liquidity raid, but just wasn't ready, right? And this is something that I see Bitcoin do time and time again. And it doesn't happen every time, but I like calling it like a double sweep. So yeah, you had the first liquidity sweep, but Bitcoin is like all about manipulation and just fucking max pain. Like somebody said on Discord, and I was like, that's the best way to put Bitcoin. Like the way that the price action is, it's like you can understand manipulation and get fucking manipulated right in front of your face, but that's okay. That's why we risk a certain amount of our port that we're okay to lose, and we take trade setups that yield that times 5. And that's what you have to understand. You can't get psyched out by it. And taking a loss is like, whatever. Okay, cool. Lost 1%. Fuck it. So once we lost that trade, go ahead and just play this up. Then we got to change a character that I liked. We got this. I'm going to hide this just for this right here. We got this change of character. And I said, okay, well, this time I'm going to wait. And this goes back to what we were saying before about how different people, play changes of character. We had this change of character, and then we had supply. I'm sorry, forgive me, demand that pushed us back up into the original supply on the lower time frame. Came down, broke it. So then you look, where is the supply that pushed us through this demand? What sponsored this new lower low? So really, it was in these wicks, and this is time and time again. I've seen this play out like this. It didn't hit into him on this feed, but I'm sure it did somewhere. And this is why, you may laugh at it, but once you really get deep into price action, using the 30-second or the 45-second is not ridiculous at all, in my opinion.
I use the 15-second all the time.
You know what I'm saying, dude? Like people laugh at that shit, but it's like, what do you think these algorithms are fucking using? They're not using a fucking 5-minute. They're putting in buys and sells within a minute. But supply heavily controlling the market here. So at this point, we just executed the trade. I think it was actually after we came into this fair value gap this first time. That was because that's another way you can play these. You know, it depends how, you know, if you're gonna watch the chart and you want to, you know, set a limit here, that's great. But really, what I like to see is price to move into the imbalance and then engineer liquidity. That's like one of my. I've noticed that with Bitcoin, because you look, we had tons of liquidity right here. Because ignore this wick and all this, but we were engineering liquidity to the downside, but reacting to the buy side. So that tells me the supply is overtaking the market. I was pretty confident about this when we entered it. I just once we were up a good bit, I was like, okay, well, it's lunchtime. That's another thing I encourage you to do. Don't really trade during 12 to 1 if you're trading Bitcoin. And the more I try to fine tune my strategies, the more I realize that you really don't need to trade much other than majors if you understand price action. And the majors aren't going to move much on the lunch hour. And if they do, it's going to be shitty price action. But you know, so at that point, we just set stops to entry, and you know, this is the reaction we wanted. So it's very important that we didn't just say, "Oh, I'm done," because you know, a lot of people. And here's the fine line of being responsible, but also knowing what you're doing. You know, people would at this point they get stopped out, and they're going to say like, "Oh, I'm out. I'm not chasing it," and that's just because you don't understand what it is that you're actually doing, and you didn't have enough conviction in your bias, um, and that's a problem. So once you've established that bias, you continuously watch for an entry. You don't just, you know, revenge trade, get right back in, but you reassess the mistake that was made the first time, don't make it again, and execute. Because that's how when you're trading like this, you're risking 1% of your funds. You know, you can lose 1 to 2 trades, whatever, and you make one, and then you're, you know, at your daily goal. Because I think a great daily goal for people is 2.5% a day, and I think that's very attainable each and every day. And if you're a beginner or if you're trading with you know, more funds than you should be, as in like you have a ton of bread in crypto, and you know you're kind of all in and trading, you know, you should be happy with 2.5% and just quit, you know, on the day, or at least don't enter any new trades. Um, I like to hit at least 2.5%, but oftentimes, you know, you can hit 5% a day, and you'll be very surprised if you're just patient and you don't start getting degenerate and risking a bunch and, you know, getting emotional. You'll be extremely surprised at how much money you can actually make once you have an actual model and you trade with the same amount of money risk wise, and you execute the same trade models, because you'll figure out really quick if they work or if they don't work. Once you have something that works, don't change it. And that's how you can turn this to be more consistent. Um, but nonetheless, we and the rest is pretty much, you guys know what happened from here. And I want to go over this lotto right here, what the logic was behind that. So if you look over here, and this was an example of price being fractal. A lot of times, this was weird right here, I will say. So we usually the move that the morning makes, you'll often see translate after lunch. Not all the time, and you can't just say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna long," you know, because we went up this morning. You need bias to do so, but I was looking for an entry, and just like when you have explosive moves like this to the upside, you're gonna have explosive moves to the downside to retrace, especially intraday with Bitcoin a lot of the time. So we came back down to this level. We cleared out this low, these equal lows right here, because this looked like a form of inducement down here. And from there, let's see, yeah, we cleared out that old low, and seems like we wanted to see some bullish price action. We formed this fair value gap on a couple different time frames. There was a fair value gap. No, it was a 2-minute, smaller one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, really small in the 2-minute. And it was also in the same area that we launched off from earlier. I was watching Bitcoin for a while. Oops. And once we came back down to this area, I was looking at this as an accumulation, manipulation, expansion model. And so I don't really play that often. You know, it's more or less you'll see. And this is why I don't really like schematics. I just think they're dumb. I think they work if you understand them, but if you're just looking at a schematic, it's just like, you know, I'll say more up here was kind of like orders were being accumulated. And I don't mean like, oh, this looks like Wyckoff accumulation. If anything, it looks more like the highs are being manipulated and like distribution. But I've seen a ton of schematics, whatever you call it, that look like one, but they're really the other when you study the price action. Here, I saw liquidity being engineered up here on the buy side, and then tons of it on the sell side. And we didn't really come up and like mitigate and then push down, which is what, if I would have seen that, I wouldn't have taken this. Like, say if price came up all the way up into here, this wick, and just dumped, I would have been like, no, I'm good. But you'll see this consolidation. Oftentimes, you'll have a fair value gap under an old low where price comes down and mitigates into it, and just didn't have the steam. That's why we held the shorts and we didn't risk as much on it, because at the end of the day, we are really going against the other trade. That's why I was kind of like, I'll play it. I'll only risk 0.5%, whatever. But, once that, let me hide this one. That didn't work, but we held onto the shorts, and soon after, I hit full TP on that. So, easy money off that. Depending on where you trimmed, you should have got at least 4% of your portfolio off that trade, no matter where you trimmed, even if you trimmed heavy at the first one and then trimmed down the line. Hold on, my mouse is dying. Gotta charge this shit. But
that price action is going to fall off the screen, Casper.
right, fuck. It's gone.
It's gone.
Bitcoin just jumped off a cliff, bro. Shit is insane. I mean, we did come down and clear this. I'm just not even trading this tomorrow. Like, that's one thing. Like, yeah, like I see it. Like, oh shit, like change the character. Like, yeah, it definitely happened on the 5-minute. But I'm just like, I mean, today ended up a good day. I'm not gonna.
It was pretty bad for everything because we just got, so during trading, I don't know if anybody knows, but while we were trading, two major exchanges paused all orders because of the volatility. So when we went into our stock brokerage apps, it was taking forever to get filled on orders because of that. And
Holy
that doesn't
shit.
happen. Like, that does not happen.
Like, you mean stocks?
Like options and shit. So
that's scary.
On your trading platform, when you submit an order, it picks the best price from the best exchange. There's like, I think like 10 exchanges or 8 exchanges, like Chicago, New York, shit like that, right? So yeah, 2 of them, Arca and I forgot what the other one was, they paused all trades going through their line. And then on top of that, commodity, which is your hedge in a downturn market, they started selling off because hedge funds started getting margin called. So they had to sell equity to cover the fucking margin. It was nuts, bro.
That's terrifying.
Nuts. It was, bro. I didn't know if my portfolio was going to go to zero today. Like, I just didn't know. I was like, oh, there goes, all my money. Like, 08 again.
Jesus, bro.
So yeah, that's why like crypto markets also pulled back heavy, because if you have all these big banks and stuff getting margin called, they want to risk off like immediately as fast as possible. And you just saw the price, like it was just buttering today. It looked like a hot knife going through butter. It was just disgusting. So that's one of the reasons why we we're staring at the screen like, yo, how far is this gonna go down? What? Yeah, it should recover. Don't be scared. It should recover, but they're trying to do something called a soft landing, which means that they're slowly unloading on the equities and increasing interest rates through the Fed. So that's affecting prices of commodities and and food supplies. Like, I don't know if you know, but people can't buy baby food in certain states because there's no baby food.
Jesus, I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's affecting our like food supply, and we're running out of diesel at the harbors for the boat.
Yeah,
So
I've heard that
that's
one. That shit's insane, dude.
it.
That's why
It's
I
just
keep
yeah. I
telling
don't
people, I'm
even know.
like, bro, like, everyone on Twitter is like, bro, this is the bottom. I'm just like, dude, you're playing with
Bro,
fucking
they don't
fire.
know the stocks, bro. That thing going to if it breaks 368 on the S&P, oh my god, it's not good. It's not good. But yeah, that was a
This
little
shit, I mean,
background story on why shit's happening as far as like the macro economics things.
what level did you say? If it breaks what?
368, like 366 to 368 on SPY.
Yeah,
So
it's like
yeah,
this right
it's
here.
not. Yeah,
I think that you honestly, I mean, if I like, I mean, god damn, bro, like this would be where you know, that's the crazy thing, bro. Is like, you could say like, oh, there's demand in this whole zone right here. Really, I would say this candle included just because it's the size of it. But like you're there, but then it's like you have that low there. If anything, I can see us coming very close to that level. Like, Jesus, man, you're lagging a little bit.
I'll go park the Tesla somewhere, bro. You're lagging. I'll go. Your mic's in a blender.
Like this shit this morning, bro. Oh my fucking god. Like talk about easy ass fucking trades, bro. That's the like. Let's see where it was. Yeah, look at that. Very easy setup here. And this is what you'll see. This is the same setup I put on Bitcoin this morning. Same exact thing. Same price action too. But so you had that fair value gap. As soon as price came even remotely back into it, I mean, fucking, we're talking for a second. If you didn't have limits, so you got left behind. You had a very nice trade setup. And these sometimes they don't provide the best RR. Like they're not bad. I kind of get spoiled. I mean, anything over 3 to R really is good. But you would have longed in the supply. Really could have took it here. I would have just taken it as supply. I mean, that's money if you were playing more than it's a 3.5 to 1. It doesn't look as pretty as some of the trades we get, but the thing with these is they're high probability. Like they work. They fucking hit. And a lot of times you can hold them throughout. So, 3% of your portfolio in what is this? 30 minutes. Yeah, that's how it should be done. Yeah, 45 minutes. Oh shit! I'm reading some of these YouTube. Somebody said TRX and AVAX. I'm actually about to look at TRX for shorts here soon. But even then, I'm just still waiting for Bitcoin, man, because Bitcoin starts railing. I don't care how good of a short anything looks like. The market's flying. Also, someone said, can I go over different situations on different leverage and when would I use them? So the situation and the leverage, nothing changes. Like that, leverage matters nothing. What matters is what you're risking if the stop loss hits. How much money do you lose if this number comes to reality? And you need to calculate your trades to where that's I recommend if you're a beginner and you're taking your own trades, I would say 5%. I'm sorry, not 0.5%. Jesus, 0.5, not 5. 0.5% risk. So say if you had $10,000 in your port, you should only lose $50 if your trades get stopped out, if you're the one taking them. Because people say like, oh dude, you never make any money that way. Bullshit. It's literally just bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's actual bullshit. You just don't take good trades if that's the case. So, for instance, let's just use this example. Now, I know any of you guys who trade, you're gonna be like, oh, it's contracts, it's different. I'm just using an example. I get it. These are per contract. It's not like our futures that we play in crypto. But we'll just, actually, let's go back. Let's go to Bitcoin.
I
So,
mean,
for instance, like
if they
here,
use,
go ahead.
Oh, if they're using MetaTrader, it's kind of like
Right.
finance.
Casper, do
I
you
did
not
what
look
you
at
did
Ethereum
today.
anymore?
Wait, so what? I couldn't hear either, you guys.
I was saying, do you not look at Ethereum anymore?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. That's I think that Ethereum's if we maintain like bearish price action with Bitcoin, then I'll be very happily looking at some Ethereum shorts. But I'm not gonna the morning. I'm just not. I've learned over time that I make the most money between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. That is when I find the best setups. It's just how it is. Um, if I'm like, because right now is not like how it used to be. Like 3 months ago, we were, pretty bullish on the higher time frames on, at least like the 4 hour and stuff. And we could find these nice swing trades where we just set a limit at a 1 hour order block or 15-hour order block. Now is not the time we do that. Look at this shit. This is like a fucking roller coaster. This is a day trader's market. So I'm gonna wait till the volatility is there, which is during those hours. I don't want to trade. Like I've literally, like for instance, last night, Jasmine, but the Bitcoin trade, that shit would have fucking smacked. So I can't really use that. If we would have taken that shit, it was like literally instant, just fucking. Where was it? Was it like yesterday, like 10? I think it was right here. Yeah, like we had our limits were 30,612. I even tweeted it. I saw that today. I was like, wow. I tweeted 30,612, and this shit literally went 20 cents away. I can't remember where our stop losses were, but I mean, the target would have been probably ought to just. I can't remember what we had made it. Regardless of the target, we would have had secured probably like 6 to 7R in like literally like 2 hours. So, anyways, back to times. I just find myself doing much better during certain hours. They call it kill zone, ICT kill zone, whatever you want to call it. It's just when the algorithms are working a lot. That's when banks are trading a lot of all the volume. And if you're trading intraday, you want volume. Like let's be real. Like everybody, oh, like you can't expect it to moon immediately. It's like you're right, but I don't know about you, but I like taking those trades way better. I like waiting the right moment and then price. If you have a good trade, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna take place pretty quickly. If it's a day trade, like swing trades, don't get me wrong, it's whatever. But if you're finding levels and you're trading price action, if you get in a trade and it doesn't impulsively move, I don't want to be that guy, but it's probably not gonna go where you want it to go, in my experience. With this kind of trading method. Now, I know that you guys are probably saying like, "Oh, it's not true," whatever. Cool, disagree, but the way I see it, I like taking trades where within 20, 30 minutes it's moving in the direction I wanted it to, and that happens during those times. But I kind of went on a tangent and didn't answer Hudson's question, but the the amount of leverage you use is really irrelevant. The setup doesn't matter at all. It matters how much you're risking and how much you intend to make. So, for instance, on these trades, I was risking 1% of my portfolio no matter what. So this number, this RR number, is all that means anything to me. Not this percentage, not the P&L slip, not how much leverage I used. It's how much margin I used, how much total money was leveraged. So if I'm on 10x or 100x, I'm just using less margin. And unless you need it, 100x is not always the best. But I'm looking at it, in a form of, okay, I'm going to risk 1%. So if my risk to reward is 6, then I can make 6% of my total portfolio on this trade, assuming I held it the whole way. Now I didn't here. I trimmed at this level pretty heavily. Trimmed 50% of this first level and 75% here. But even though, and then I trimmed everything but the last little bit of my position here, and still yielded over 4% of my portfolio on this one trade. So that the leverage doesn't matter. It just the move in price Doesn't matter. It matters how big your stop loss was, how heavy could you take the trade, and how far did it move. I mean, the leverage means nothing. And what time zone am I in? I'm in New York time. Somebody said, what was it? TRX and AVAX. Actually, let me see. Let me go back to the Discord because a couple people had added me. Somebody said Tron. Oh, you know what? I think you might have the same levels I did. I'm not sure. No, not yet. I see what you're looking at. See, me, I really, maybe I'm being greedy, but I want this up here. Reason being is, let me delete this. So we came out to the daily. And this is why I think it's kind of like sometimes dangerous to short this. Yes, it's been strong. I get it. Crypto is, not looking too hot lately. But if Bitcoin does start to run, this shit has a lot of room to do so. The chart really doesn't look bad. It doesn't. Yeah, we got rejected off. What is this supply up here? I mean, up here, I guess this did cause a break of structure to the downside. You could say that, whatever. But if I'm going to short it, I'm going to be very careful. And I see what you were drawing. Looks like this right here is your POI. And I'm not sure if you waited for confirmation, but it looks like it. Yeah, you've got it. I mean, it's looking like a short here. I'll tell you that much. You have that. Bam. So really, you're about to actually get. I would look at this like this wick is really the demand that sent you back up into that. The origin of this change of character. So, and you fill this inefficiency. I mean, it's looking like a pretty nice short. Like here to here, I would put stops above that at this point. And even if you got stopped out, you might come back up into this. But if you are trading it, I mean, Jesus Christ, actually, this might be nice. Fuck. I mean, in all honesty, you'd probably be targeting that. Yeah, no, it looks good. Jim, WRX. I think yours was a little. No, it looks like you have about the same thing. Maybe you just stop a little higher.
I think Ape's trying to raid that sell side liquidity right now.
I'll peep in a second. God damn it. Now I'm sitting here looking at TRX, want to trade. What else was somebody said? And AVAX, and I was the next one to do TA on. Also, Stinky Schmuck. Yeah, I saw. I think that was the on Bitcoin. Personally, I'm chilling on it. I see it, but I am big chilling on it right now. But I definitely see the longs. Johnny, is he in here? Yeah, Johnny's in here. Yeah, not Ape. Somebody just said something about it, so let's look at it. Yeah, I mean, me personally, I'm gonna wait for one of these levels to get broken, or you could, if you see a nice reaction here in this, you could go for longs. But even though there's liquidity down below, I want that one of these, to be removed from the market. I mean, if anything, you really kind of had a short here. Probably if you look at maybe the 1 minute, there wasn't really a good entry. my opinion, because your change of character was really there. I guess you could have used these wicks, but there's no fair value gap. Bam. Honestly, I mean, you might be able to find a nice setup here because you have even flip that here. We've got this. But you've got equal highs above it. And then you've got this liquidity up here. So you see what I'm saying? So like I see it and I think it could play out. But I just see way too much. Like what is this high? 731, 34. It all did get swept if you want to get real technical with this last low right there. I mean, it's not a bad setup, honestly. But it's one of those where it's like I see it. And I might take this if it was just like fresh in the day or something, but you could probably target that. You'd be trimming heavily along the way though. Back. Somebody asked about this on YouTube. So, oh wait, actually, how much would you want in your port to trade Bitcoin successfully? I find it hard to make those trades without over leveraging my small account. And that's what I'm saying. You're missing the point 100% because your account doesn't matter. I mean, I get it. If you have a very small account, it's not going to be super crazy gains, and it won't be. So get that idea out of your head. Like if you're not trading, if you're trading with an amount where you feel like oh, I have to over leverage it because I'm not gonna see those big gains. Well, like I hate to be the guy that breaks this to you. You're not gonna see crazy gains unless you hit the fucking lottery. Trading with a small port. You have to look at it like you're developing a skill and you're gonna compound that small port into bigger gains. And the way you do that is by learning to trade the right way. What's up, Scarves?
Oh fuck, my bad.
No, you're good, Grody. But yeah, like it's just like the port. It doesn't matter. Like I would say, if you have $2,000 in your port, you can make a good bit of money off that. Like I'm not gonna say you're gonna be at 10K overnight or something, but you can make if you're making, let's just put it like, okay, say you make 2.5% of your port a day, so you're making $50 a day.
After 20 days, you made a band, and if your account was 2 bands,
it's gonna be more because you're compounding. Actually, let's just go see. There's a calculator.
You're right. I mean, think about the compound.
So I'm gonna show you guys something crazy, and Hudson, I want you to pay attention to this. Every time I get in a session with somebody, I teach them or show them this because a lot of people say that. They say like, I don't have enough money, I have to over leverage it. It's just not true because you're just being impatient. And I mean that with love. Where is this deposit? We're not depositing. Let's just say, or wait, sorry, 1 month. Let's do 3 months. Do 3 months. And if you're compounding, you're not pulling any profits out. So I want you to understand the power of this. Hold on, I didn't do that right. Where is it? 2000 daily. There we go. See, obviously, and you're like, that's not real. Right? That's what you're sitting there saying. You're like, that is not fucking real. It is real. Every bit of it's real. That's if you were to make 2.5% every single day and you never withdraw anything, because that 2.5% is not of 2000 anymore. Starting on the first day. Then it's 2050. Then that 2.5%, then you're taking larger trades. And this is how you learn to manage your money as it grows. So don't think, oh, I have a small port, I'm not going to be able to make money, I have to use higher leverage. That's the trap of derivatives. That is how Binance makes money, is that mentality, because it's not true and it will get you liquidated. I promise you, with everything, I mean it. If you trade with that mentality, you will get liquidated. I don't know if it's gonna be this today, tomorrow, in a month after you've made thousands and then lose it all, but it will happen. So it's better to look at things as a risk to reward basis, because I've given this example before in some streams. Let's just say we long AVAX here. Just um, this is a terrible example because all the stops have been cleared. I can't even have a stop. Let's just say, okay, let's say we're gonna use the low and we're just gonna long it to the highs. That's a crazy fucking move. That's 86%. People are like, oh dude, that's gonna be fucking amazing. All right, here, let's do this. Let's go on a 4-hour. And this is hard to use this example because there is no logical stop loss, but we'll just say we're gonna long here to the next swing high on the 4-hour. So people are gonna look at me like, oh, 58%. Fuck, dude. Like, longs. We're gonna make that's gonna be 1,000%, dude. On or not, wouldn't be 1,000 on 50. You get hundreds of percent. Actually, yeah, it would on 50x. But that's what everybody's seeing is percent sign. But you have only a 2.5 risk to reward. So if you're trading the correct way and you're risking the same amount of money on each trade, which you should be, if you're not, don't expect to get any kind of consistent results. Expect this to be a casino if you're not doing that, unless you risk less than your normal because you're playing a counter trend trade. That's different. But if you're just saying, oh, I'm gonna throw 20% up on this, 10% on this, or I see this thing where people say like, oh, they put 5% of their port on every play. And that just doesn't make sense because every play doesn't have the same stop loss. So you're risking different amounts. And it's a very easy calculation. Like for instance, let's do it with like an actual stop loss. Let's just say your stop loss is 5% away. So you're going to take whatever, say if you have a $2,000 port and we're risking 1%, meaning you're risking $20. Well, we're going to, first of all, we're going to amplify this by whatever leverage. I recommend 10x. So we're going to say 5.94 times 10. This is 59%, right? So we're going to take 20, we're going to divide it by 0.59. And that'll tell you how much money you can put into that trade. It's $33. That's risking 1%. There's there's calculators for this. If you're trading using Bitcoin or ETH, any other majors, they don't have it for a lot of stuff. But that's how you do. I have a whole video on that. But that's in a nutshell how you do that. And you see, for instance, 2.5% of your port. That's not really that hard. And I don't mean to set the bar higher for people that are like, damn, that's hard. I don't want to sound like a dick. But once you get the hang of this and you know what you're doing, that is not hard at all. For instance, today we took 4 trades, 2 of which were losers. I'll put them back up. 2 of these trades were losers. I'm sorry, we took 3 trades in play, but I just took this on my own. But we'll just do these 3 trades then. So we lost 1% here and 0.5% here because this is a lotto. But here, I don't assume that anyone held till the end. But if you did, you would have made 6%. So you would have still yielded on the day 4.5%. I'm sure most people probably ended up taking profits to where they hopefully gained at least 4% or 3% maybe. Hopefully 4 or better. I know that I trimmed some at this level down here, and then held about another. So I trimmed 75 here, and then I left 10% of my original position after this, so another 15%. So that got me out of here with well over 4%. So that's way over the goal, even with losses of that 2.5% daily. And now I get it. Here, I'll just be honest with you. If you're trading with like $100 or something in your port, that's a great way to learn. And I think I encourage that actually over paper trading. But don't expect to get rich off of it. Let's just do the calculations. See, I bet it's probably more than what most people think. See what I'm saying? This is the power. but that's the same relative change. But you know, more money grows into much more money than, you know, small amounts. That's I've had people be like, yeah, I'm trying to get this 500
Can you do
to
it with
$1,000.
$10,000 while you have the
Yeah.
calculator up?
Give me something fucking nutty.
Could you change it to just 2% daily instead of 2.5%?
$60,000 in 3 months. You'd have like 50,000 profit in 3 months.
So you'd make like $240K in a year because that's the 3 month, right?
Well, if it was a year, way more.
Holy fuck!
See, but then here's the thing: don't get like fucking like moon boys, because I've shown this to people, and then I'm like, oh god, I shouldn't even have shown this to people, because they're like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna make millions.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just showing the possible. You know, is this? You know, I'm sure if people, you know,
Full port.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like they're like, oh fuck, dude. But I think if you know, it shows like, I mean, $10,000. I think that's a pretty good size to. It's nothing crazy. You know, you can definitely trade a lot more. You can trade with less. But if you're gonna be a professional trader, like you do this for your, you know, your livelihood, and you want to have like a good, you know, like you spend money, you make some money to invest. You know, you're doing good. You got a nice car, nice crib, all that shit. I think 10,000 is a good number. And a lot of people think, oh, dude, that dude has 200,000. That's the only way you make money. Like, I mean, yeah.
Yo, Luna's shitting, bro.
Luna's done. It's completely. It's game over, bro. There's no coming back from that. What is it at now? Luna
80
is
cents.
the Squid Games token.
0.8.
Wait, what? Oh well, it's done, bro.
Fucking collapsed.
Look at this chart.
It goes like a cent. I'm buying it.
Yeah, that stop loss at 0.
Is that butthole rocket?
Yeah, right. Literally, bro. It's fucking, dude.
I can't believe it, bro.
Neither can my port. No, I'm fucking with you.
Butthole rocket lasted longer than this.
So this one, was Bitcoin just barely swept those highs? Yeah. See, let me look at what you're looking at. That would lead me to, not want to play longs because you've already taken the buy side liquidity out of the market. Where was it? Was it this? No, I can't tell. Or is it? Is it Fort? Oh yeah, it looks like that's right. When they're like this crazy, I'm gonna look on a different feed just to see, because sometimes with Bitcoin, that's why, you know, playing on futures is kind of frustrating sometimes. Yeah, like, for instance, I don't think it got swept here, which would, yeah, this would lead to the bull case. So that's why use perps for your limits. Use it to trade when you're trading perps, but when you see shit like that, just go peek at the USDT chart, because if anything, this would strengthen the bull case. But one thing I've found during these volatile markets is these changes. Because here's the thing: until the high time frame narrative is shifted, playing these change of characters in demand is they're profitable. Like for instance, the one we missed, like the limits missed last night, those could have been extremely profitable, and they were against the high time frame narrative. But that was a flip scenario, and I think that's how you're playing this too. I think that's how you play them. You wait till you have. I see in your chart now. So yeah, I mean, well, really, if you're in the 5-minute. So if I'm looking at this, you know, I mean, I kind of like it. I could see it. So like you came down, you swept the liquidity. You saw this price action below, came down, filled the inefficiencies. Really, it gave one entry here already. Preferably, this is where I would have rather played it. Because with these trades, they're pretty quick when they're going to give the best entries. They make these inefficiencies, come down, fill them. You can say whatever, they're coming out of this order block. I look at it as more of an inefficiency fill. And then price goes back up and breaks the supply. I would consider this the supply. So, I mean, really, the trade's probably playing out right now. But even then, I don't really like that. Because if you have this, I mean, it's in OTE. It's right on the 705. Price dipped down to the 79%. But it did make a lower low than this area. Because really the demand here, it looks like it's going to play out, but the demand here is in this wick, if you ask me. That's where the demand was that broke this high. Because this was, these kind of candles, don't sleep on these. Like tombstone dojis, what people call them, are these hammers. That's, you know, those are big orders that are causing that. So, but I wouldn't be playing this personally. And then you have more liquidity to the downside here. You could maybe say this level. But then it's like, I mean, at what point are you just kind of forcing shit if it doesn't, you know, if this doesn't succeed? And then with the flips, the thing is I like them, but they're very, like, you know, really the full target's this high, which is a great risk to reward if that works out from where we're at. You almost got stopped out. But, you know. Also, you're trading it during the Tokyo session, which usually you'll have that at first move, but you're kind of just ranging, creating a range that's going to get manipulated. So the way I look at this, what I would like to see tomorrow, if I were to trade, I'd like to see this get ran, and then I would be targeting this. But it looks like this is playing out right now already. This, like what you were talking about, because you have your change of character there. You have your supply that sent you back down to the origin. You could also look at it like, oh, we haven't even came down to the change of character. And this is like, if we're following or fractal price, this is what Bitcoin did the other day, and we'll go back to it. But on the 15-minute, this looks exactly like Bitcoin's 15-minute. Let me just draw a fractal so you guys can see what I mean. Go to like, maybe like a 5-minute. You guys see what I'm saying though, right? Very similar in my opinion. Very similar. So, being fractal, then this would almost look more like a liquidity grab at this point. So I think this is actually where we played the fucking, yeah, it was. This is actually literally the same setup too. Like the same setup was right here, the one we missed. But not, or no. Sorry, false. That was on the 11th, sorry. That was over here. Okay, wrong one. Thought I had it copied and pasted.
Dude, Luna is fucking licked, bro.
Oh yeah, it's game. It's done. Over.
Oh shit.
It's literally over, bro. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna work here. But yeah, I probably wouldn't be trading this. I do see it though. If anything, I would take it from where you had it marked up. This would be the only way I'd really feel comfortable with it. But what is this shit? Shanghai People's Court has declared Bitcoin as a legal virtual property protected under Chinese law.
we have gone to do those lists. I still don't understand where I wanted to long 28,690
or 28.90. Yeah, no, I mean that would be the better area. Like in this wick somewhere, I'm on the 5 minutes. Let's go to 1 minute. Yeah, like that would be the area right here, if anywhere. I see what you're saying. You said 28.90, so that's around here. So I'm assuming in this area. The only thing is, like, okay, if you had maybe some inefficiencies here, like we had like this kind of motion right here, all through up here, and you had inefficiencies that hadn't been filled, that would give me more confidence to long here. But I don't see it. I just think that tomorrow morning we're gonna have one of these ran, or maybe not even tomorrow morning, maybe before, maybe at London Open, because London Open, I'll just tell you, one of these is gonna get ran at London Open. I don't know which one, but one of them is, and most likely then the other one is gonna get ran, and there'll be a trade opportunity there. Because once the buy side or sell side liquidity is removed from the marketplace on a local perspective, you're going to the next area of it. There's gonna be noise in between. There's gonna be choaches. We don't touch them, but you're going. Go back in TRX, because I'm not gonna lie to you, kind of was talking shit. God damn it, there it goes. Should have just shorted it. This wick, I just don't like that.
UST over Luna.
Huh? Oh, UST is
US
over Luna?
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's gonna get worse.
Fucking fucked.
Somebody that I'm talking to is actually shorting this right now. They're asking me for TPs. I just love looking at charts that I almost took and they're just dying. Literally, we talked about that. What was that? Fucking 20 minutes, 30 minutes ago. So that's how powerful that can change really quickly. And you can just try to chase, and then you get liquidity rated, and then it's just, Did really want to short this?
You get
bitch, though.
liquidated.
Yeah. Somebody said I'm using FTX perps. Would using fair value gaps and OBs be exclusive to the FTX perps chart? Yeah, to be honest, what kind of sucks. I don't think they even have charts on here, do they?
Yeah.
They do?
Just do Bitcoin perp.
BTC perp.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, then okay, you're good. Just use the FTX chart.
But like for any other coin but Bitcoin, it looks like shit.
Oh, that sucks. TRX is gonna make me cry.
FOMO.
No. So that's the thing, is it's like when you come here, you're gonna probably see some form of reversal. And it's like a 3.45. It's not terrible, but your stop's also not really in the strongest area either. It already got that flipped, didn't it? Yeah. This would have been the fucking actually wait, hold on. Oh, we might get an entry on this. So you had change character. You honestly could get an entry here probably. Oh, what the fuck? It's on both already. So 30 pips. 40 pips. This bitch might just go from here though, but we'll see. I'd be super deep in OT. You could honestly look at this as well, but actually I don't know, because it's really after the flip there. And the flips are weird. Like they're kind of hard even to like, even for me sometimes. Like, see, looking at this, and I'll tell you what's going through my head. So when you're playing this, you want to play the supply that sponsored the flip of the demand into supply. So if you look, there's not really any untapped levels. They don't have to be untapped, but there's not any clear levels here all the way up to this candle, in my opinion. And there's an inefficiency there, but that's really far up. So a huge retracement. A lot of times you'll see it happen in this OTE area, and then you say, oh, there's this huge order block right here, which is correct, but that occurred after we broke this demand. Now, while this is TRX and the price action's choppy, maybe that is still the where the supply really entered the market. But it's odd, man. It's weird ass price action. What I'd prefer is if this would wait and give us an entry in the morning. That'd be nice. Somebody said, what would be my stop loss on this? 0.07830. You shouldn't see it go higher than that. Somebody said, oh, no, that was earlier. Well, on that note, I am going to hop off here, guys. As always, I appreciate you all. If you got any questions, DM me on Twitter, Discord, at me in chat, whatever, and I'll get back to you as quick as possible. As always, I appreciate you, and until Friday, I'll see you later.